tuner. Tuner. Okay? It's not a tuna. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Double D. Today we're going to take a look at a pedal from iSet that you probably need, because everybody needs another tuner. Everybody could use a tuner that's only $20 and that has all this processing power, all this 48K, all that special stuff built into the chip for literally for $20. So I have a couple of expectations when it comes to a tuner. I want to be able to use it with fine tuners. I want to be able to get a note quickly. You can barely see it here. I want to be able to tune up my bass 6 and even my bass. I have a bass, a Kramer from back in the 80s, and I honestly, I think the strings are from the 80s. If not, then from the very early 90s. I've had the strings on this thing forever. I love it. I love the way it feels dead. I don't care. And sometimes it's a little slow to tune, but hey, whatever. Hopefully, this little guy is going to be just what I need in order to keep everything in tune. And thank you, iSet, for sending things over like this. I always love checking out your pedals. They're not paying for this video. They've sent the pedal to me to check out. But this is not paid for. They're not seeing it before I post it. This is actually my first time really looking at the pedal. So I figured I'd do a quick unboxing and also give you my first impressions of it, right? So it's got the plastic on it still, and it has some cactus artwork and clouds. Big screen. Nice big screen. We'll see what it looks like when it's plugged in here in a second. And we'll go ahead and pull this off. I doubt you're going to hear it. Ooh, okay. So we got a little something out of that. I don't want to hear, yeah, I have a $16 clip-on tuner that I can use anywhere. It works on all my guitars and all of my basses. Have you ever done a 37-second sound check where your drummer's hitting his kick drum at 140 BPM, 4 on the floor, and you're trying to tune, and you literally have no time to tune up? You really, if you're looking to step up, and for just a couple dollars from a headstock tuner, I mean, look at the display, first off. And second off, it's got an actual input as opposed to trying to fight a room. So it's going to only work 9-volt power in. You can use, of course, if you want to use a battery, you get one of those little battery to 9-volt end adapters to pop right into there. It does have 90 milliamps of draw, so just take that into consideration if you're going to be using this with a power supply. It will use 90 milliamps. Most of your 9-volt spots are going to be around 250. So if you plan on splitting it, take that into consideration. It's not like a little analog pedal that's only going to draw 18 milliamps or so. That's going to draw a lot more. So blue light, then the signature and the bypass, signal bypass, and yeah. So you hit it's simple. You hit a button and it tunes. Okay, you got a signal going in, signal going out. I always like my guitar first into a tuner. You get no distortion, none of the effects, nothing messing with it. You got pure guitar going in. On one of my boards, I have a tuner out, and it just goes, takes the signal, puts it right in there. That's where I recommend putting it, very, very first in your chain, so that it gets your guitar real quickly. So I'm going to take a little look at this with a couple of different instruments. Okay, here's my clean tone. So let's turn this thing on. Which means now I'm not sending signal. Oh, it's holding the note. It grabs the note real quick, too. Look at that. That was good. I mean, clearly, I'm way out of tune there. But it's... So this guitar is a half step down. So get it tuned up. Jumping strings is pretty responsive. Like you can see, as soon as I'm hitting the next note, it's going to take a minute. Of course, I picked a floating tremolo to demo this, right? Let me go a little past it and see how it feels. It's moving along with me. Maybe taking, a second to just make sure that it's steady. That's good. And when I jump up to the next string, it grabs it with me real quick. You know, I like that. That's good. That display is huge. And obviously, that's not an O string, it's the D string, but you'll get the point. I like that there's not a lot of frills to it. You know, you don't have to worry about hitting a button accidentally that sends it down like 4 cents or up 4 cents, and then you're sitting there going, what the heck? Why am I not in tune with the band? And we're all in tune according to our tuners. Basically a no frills tuner. But that LED is hardly no frills. It's dark right now. What I'll do is I'll pop a couple of screenshots or a little video of me tuning this outside in the morning when the sun comes up, just to get an idea of what it's like outside. If you're going to sit there and fine tune it, it seems to kind of take a minute to grab and notice whether or not I've moved. It seems like this is almost grabbing it and sampling what you're giving it. Let's see, as I tune it up, it's almost like you have to kind of give it a pick hit every time. Yeah, I could hear when I started to hit it real sharp. It seems like, to me, with the fine tuners, I'm able to kind of move around in that blue range just a little bit. This I tend to keep in standard. So I'm struggling a little bit here with the bass 6 to get this in tune, this low E in tune. I'm having to use the harmonic. So what I'll probably have to do is go up to the A and then tune from there. Let's see if it's grabbing this lower A. Oh, buzz on that string. So I might say the B and the A are a little hard to see, like at the angle that I'm at. If you have this on your board and you're backed up just a little bit from it, I can't see the bottom of that B, and it looks like an A. So make sure you have good line of sight. I'll recommend that. If you get this guy right here. Yeah, it seems to move better with regular tuners than it does fine tuners. All right, give it a bass. Give it a bass. Whoa. It's grabbing that real quick. I am shocked. I am completely shocked. These strings are so old. I mean, look, you can't see them. But these strings are older than many of you. Wow. Holy moly. I wonder why. Maybe it's just the low output pickups on that on the bass 6. But man, that's grabbing this. That's grabbing that low E. Great. Now, the only thing I will say is that you do have to kind of move on to another string. Just muting the string doesn't make it go away. You see that? It doesn't make it go away all the time. So you got to move on to another string, give it another note, and it'll hear it. It's hearing it right away, and it's telling me whether or not I'm in. That's great. Okay. iSet, really, really good job on that. I know it's got, they were proud of the chip that they put in there. And yeah, if you have, okay, so maybe I would break the rule here. If you have a bass 6 or some low output pickups, you might need a little bit of a boost in front of it, okay? But, you know, hey, so then you break the rule a little bit there. So I would say, man, I would say for 20 bucks, it's way better than a clip-on headstock tuner. It's way better than the $35 tuner I bought at a guitar store. I'm not going to name the brand, but it literally would take a second and a half to 2 seconds before it even would register that there's a note. And so this quick response of this tuner, that's 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 all I would ask for. Really, if I was buying an inexpensive tuner for $20, the main thing I would want would be that. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to look at this outside. I'm going to put maybe some more footage of that up on the screen right now just so you get an idea of what it's like tuning a guitar outside and what it's like with the sunlight looking at it. But that's a darn good pedal. iSet. Very cool. I'm really impressed with how quickly it got the bass. I can't believe it got a bass note that quickly, even the low E. I do know that grabbed this real well, grabbed all the guitars real well. Little bit of finagling with the fine tuners because it seems like it wants to hold on to that note a little bit longer than maybe your fine tuning range. So you might have to kind of compensate if you're using a fine tuner guitar. That would be where I would give it a B. Everywhere else, it would be getting an A for me. I'll give it an A on the bass. I'll give it an A on my guitar, and a B on the fine tuners, and a B on the bass 6. I could tune that with the harmonic, and I know that if I juiced up the level into it a little bit, there goes the pick. If I juiced up the level into it with the booster or something, or maybe even change my pickup selectors. I didn't even change the pickups at all on that, so I probably was on one of the lower output ones. Okay, live and learn. Great pedal. This is going on my iSet board. I will now have a complete board of iSet pedals, and if you guys want to see a video of all of the iSet pedals, let me know. Of course, none of their videos are sponsored. Everything they've thrown my way, I've enjoyed talking about them. Even a couple of the pedals that I knew I probably wouldn't use. Like I very rarely would use an acoustic simulator pedal, but I know I'm going to use a tuner pedal. At that price range and at how quickly it responds, I would recommend this tuner pedal for anybody that's looking to step up from like their headstock tuner, or if they have something that they're just not happy with, you know, and they don't want to drop $100 on a tuner, because us guitarists, we don't love talking about tuners. We don't sit around and talk about tuners like we do fuzz. You know, we just don't. Thanks for getting this far into a video watching me tune guitars, because that's all I've been talking about is a tuner. And I'm impressed. I really am. Not with, you know, how I can play bass. Thanks, iSet, for sending this over. Thanks for making it this far into the video. Take care.